have to come. So, Upanishads. We are studying Upanishads. Upanishad. Ni means commitment. Yes, Kate.
I just the email again. So you have all you have to do is reply all, and then you have all their emails.
Okay, okay. Here are the emails. Meet. Attached is the link. Attached is the link. There is no attachment. But anyhow, I will. Yes. So, Christina, where is Christina? Brandy is here. So, yes. So, Upanishad means sitting nearby. Here is Christina.
Hey.
Oh, yes. And so, Upa, sitting nearby with commitment to destroy the suffering, to awaken to inner peace and happiness, to loosen the knot of ignorance. That is what the Upanishad is. You will say that why I always talk about the stories of couple. Huh? First time I gave you the story, understand the essence of that story. That what I am seeking outside is already within me, and I am what I am seeking. Upanishad says, what I am seeking outside is already within me. Why you are running in your life? Why you are running outside in life? Ask yourself. Only for permanent peace and happiness. It is not there. But when you are seeking, when you are running outside, what happens? I want this thing only for me. There is a lot of competition outside. If this object is for you only, the other guys are also seeking the same object in the ignorance. That object may be a person, maybe a thing, whatever you want to take it. So, what happens? That causes the fear, whether you will attain it or not. So the fear causes the anxiety, and the anxiety leads to mind swinging like a pendulum, like pain and pleasure, profit and loss, profit and loss, victory and defeat. And now the mind has made a house of constant hesitation, running, and that causes lot of problem. So the first story tells us what I'm searching outside is already within me. So, means what? Expand it. If I find in searching outside anything that causes me the anxiety and anger and reaction, it means I am following a wrong pathway. So, I have to correct this path in my life. What is the first meaning? Asatuma satgamaya. See that? That is the meaning. That is the meaning. Tamaso ma jyotirgamaya. Tamaso, moving from the darkness to the light. Ah, I recall my master used to say, what do you mean by doubt? When you start searching, anyone say, even you say, honey, do you love me? You have a doubt. Again, you'll say, I'm talking about honey. Yeah, that is very common because a lot of people come together for solving their relationship problems. So I have a lot of stories coming from the different text. There was a king, a prince, who got engaged to a princess of another kingdom. The next day, the enemy invaded the kingdom of the prince. So the prince's father, who was the king, he said, "Prince, you are a warrior, go and fight and win the war, defeat the enemy." So he went for a war and defeated the enemy. Pay attention. This is what is our condition in our day-to-day life. Where this story perhaps in Purana text. I told you that there is a Purana text. So the Purana. Brittany came late, so I will repeat that story again. I don't see you. So there was a prince, because I want to see how long you can maintain the smile on the face. so, so the prince was there, and the prince got engaged to a princess of another kingdom. And the king, the next day, the enemy invaded the kingdom, and the father of the prince, who was a king, and said, "Go and defeat the enemy." So the prince invaded, he defeated the enemy. But that kingdom of the enemy was very near to the kingdom of his beloved, his honey, with whom he got engaged. This is a true story explained in Purana. I'm not telling any story which I have fabricated. That is how. So now see that. So that is what happens in our daily life. Oh, let me chat with my honey, with my soulmate. So that prince lived 3,000 years ago. So he had in mind, my kingdom of my princess is very near. So let me stay in a motel or a hotel and call her. That is what happens in our daily life. So anyhow, he rented a hotel, and then he did not pose himself because the princess has not seen the prince. Here is the understanding. Here is the knowledge. So the prince had not seen the princess, and the princess had not seen the picture of a prince. In those days, smartphone is not available, so you can make the name. Anyhow, so now that prince posed him as only a prince, not as a soulmate. And he sent his soldiers, "Please, I love you, honey." That is what we do in our chat messages. And we don't know where the love is. I can talk to you. You are seekers of the yoga, so I don't say anything to other people. I said, okay, you are in love, very good. Keep loving. When you will get frustrated, remember me. So now see the masses. So the soldiers have painted a beautiful, handsome picture of the prince to the princess. Princess did not know that this prince I got engaged. I'm giving you the masses of the Upanishad by this story. So anyhow, princess knew that she got engaged with a prince of another kingdom, but now I'm going to meet another prince, because my mind finds what? Attachment, attraction, pleasure seeking. When the mind runs after pleasure seeking in the world outside, either with a person or a thing, you are doomed to get frustrated. There is no other way. Remember this. Means, if I live in peace and happiness and I have discovered the love within me, let me express the love to you, the peace to you, then the happiness to you. So I'm not expecting. In that way, I have a good relationship with you. Do you understand what I'm saying? That is the message of the Upanishad. Anyhow, let us continue the story. So that princess entered the hotel. Now she is face to face with the prince. No doubt, Prince got mesmerized with the princess, but the prince told the princess, "You are the same beautiful girl with whom I got engaged." Princess did not knew it, but the prince knew it. Do you see that? See the point. That is how those stories were created by these great masters to make you understand. The princess did not know that he is the same guy with whom I got engaged. So the what is the problem? We use a very beautiful word in modern day. Did you recall? Fidelity, infidelity. So princess has the problem of fidelity. The prince did not have any problem because prince know. So what happened to the princess? The moment the princess heard from the prince that he is the same guy with whom she got engaged, on the spot she died because of she thought that infidelity. This is not a problem of relationship. This problem of infidelity is everywhere. You wake up in the morning, you don't get a cup of tea, and you are frustrated. Now apply that message in the life. Your mind says, I don't have enough money to buy a branded cloth. You get frustrated. Forget about soulmate, which is very, should I say common? No, common or rare depends on you. Do you understand that message? Are you getting that message clear? That this mind is seeking pleasure, happiness, peace outside in things and objects and people, it will not help you. My soulmate is within me, my real self, the real soulmate that never changes. Outer soulmate is ever changing. Do you remember this message of the Upanishad? Live into that knowledge. The master says, live in that knowledge. A couple went to see my master. I was sitting, and my master said, let me talk to you individually, privately. So they both said to the master that, you see that my wife doesn't love me, my husband doesn't love me. So he brought both of them together and he said, you both are beggars. You will not find love anywhere. How many times we complain? How many times we blame and complain others? I hope your honey is not listening to you. My God. I'm sorry. Well, even if they are listening, they have to rethink. So, in both ways, it is good. It is okay. What is the direct message of the Upanishad? Do you find love? Do you know what the love is? Or do you find the love is attachment? Our mind has distorted this beautiful word, love, peace and happiness. Peace and happiness. If I get a cup of coffee, I'll be happy. If I buy this house, I will be happy. If I get this thing from the world outside, I'll be happy. So, for my happiness, for my peace, for my love, someone else is dependent. I depend on something else in the world. Upanishad says, the wisdom says, the knowledge of the Upanishad says, no, peace is your essential nature. Happiness is in you. First, discover that happiness. Marry then. I tell the couple who come to me for guidance and coaching, I tell them that now you have discovered love within you. Clear? Just for the sake of understanding. Now you express that love in your relationship. So your love is going to increase. You live in peace and happiness. Now the other guy is crazy. If he does not understand or she does not understand, she or he will leave you naturally. And if she and he understands what you are doing, you are expressing love, you are not expecting love, what will happen? A slight wisdom is required in the mind of your other partner. What will happen? Think of it. Forget about honey. I'm not comparing, but just it came to my mind. Even if you have a pet in your house, you say, come on, honey. You say it with love. No, please don't compare it other. They come to you. Do you see that? It means I have to change myself. I have to discover myself. That is the masses of the Upanishad. Are you getting the masses clear? I'm not comparing. Don't worry. Don't think that. I'm not going there and using different words. Simple masses is clear. My honey was saying on the patio side, we had a big stand where this, hummingbird comes. When I go out, they fly out. I said, yes, they will do it. But what you do, you sit on the patio chair. Watch them with love. Keep the food in your hand. Are you blaming and complaining? That is the message of the Upanishad. That is the message of the Upanishad. So don't get offended. It's not comparison of our beloved with our dog. We love our dog in America. So sometimes we love more. We love our pet much more than others. So yeah, it is there. So now understand intellectually the masses of the Upanishad. Three words are there: evolved, evolving, and to be evolved. A beautiful masses by the three words: evolved, evolving, and to be evolved. Ah, I like you are being served, Brittany. Very good. So, so very good. Anyhow, so evolved, evolving, and to be evolved. Just check what is evolved in you. That cannot be further evolved. Body. Think of it. Perhaps Brittany conveyed my message to him. Thank you. So I could see that. So what is evolved? First thing to consider. Body is evolved, fully evolved. Can you have six sense organ? You have five sense organs. You cannot have six sense organs. The body is fully evolved. Body along with the nervous system. That nervous system is equated in yoga as prana. We have 864 pathways of the energy. And this energy is fully evolved in the human body. That is why we have an intellect. That is why we have an intellect. We have an answer to everything. See the point of understanding. I studied physics, chemistry, then mathematics, and then psychology. And then I said, no, it doesn't give me the right answer. And when I studied Upanishads under teachers, and I said, that is done. I don't want to be a doctor or a counselor, but I want to convey this message. The more I convey this message, I get deep into it. So first is evolved. What is evolved? The body and the prana is fully evolved. So can I evolve anything more in the physical body and the energy? No. I have to maintain. Means I have to, when there is something goes wrong, I have to maintain the physical well-being. I have to maintain the energy well-being. Balanced diet. Lot of things. Balanced diet, physical activity, balance in sleeping, waking, not rushing, not running. These two things are there, all the things. So, that is where the modern science works best. Use the best. What is nutrition? What is diet? What is balanced nutrition? Everything, etc., etc. Take it, use it. Now come to the second part. What is evolving? Mind is evolving constantly. Whether you say it is mind or whether you say it is brain. Why? The science are in dilemma. They do not know whether the brain is the seat of consciousness or what is mind. They have lot of confusion about it. There are three groups of scientists who have different perception. I'm not going there. So what is evolving? The mind is evolving. How do I know? Mind is evolving. I'm in stress. I understand what is stress. I manage my stress. This is one level of evolution. The mind is constantly understanding. Knowledge, we gain the knowledge. Mind is constantly evolving. Right? So our masters have found out. The master says, if it is evolving in a right direction, and you want to accelerate the evolution of this mind, practice yoga. That is the message the master gives. It is not 5 postures, beginners yoga, 15 postures, intermediate yoga, 50 postures, advanced yoga. That is nothing to do with yoga. To tell you frankly, two things now. Now here is a catch. What is? Mind is evolving unconsciously, habitually, instinctively, impulsively. One. And the mind is evolving consciously by the different practices, principles of yoga. Two things. Are you getting it? One example, take an example, simple example. I'm in stress because of you. My mind is blaming you, complaining you, reacting against you, acting impulsively, habitually, and I'm doing it. I am not listening to any principles of Eastern wisdom. You might have experienced in your life. I don't want to go into detail. So what happens? After a few years, You understand why the heck mind you are blaming others. Take care of yourself. Calm down. You learnt it after 10 years when you did not practice yoga. And when you practice yoga means yoga says, understand, peace is within you. So what you did? You accelerated the evolution of the mind. Are you understanding? Second part, what is evolving? So yoga, Upanishad, Eastern wisdom, all the masters of the East, not the modern masters who are best-selling authors. I'm not talking of them. I'm talking of Eastern wisdom. The knowledge in the Eastern wisdom gives you the tools, the instruments to accelerate the evolution of your mind. Are you getting it? Now, see, one factor in the mind that you live in anxiety or the suffering, it takes you 10 years to evolve. Yoga makes that evolution possible in few weeks, few days, few months of your earthly existence. Then what has happened now? Now see that what has happened. You are compressing your total evolution not in many births, not in many years, but only in a year or few months or few weeks. What happens? You awaken to the real self that is yet to be evolved. What is yet to be evolved? Your real self. I don't know my real self. Don't practice yoga. Maybe after 10, 15, 20 birth, you will reach to the real self. That is 100% clear. But you continue your suffering. The chain of the suffering continues. The chain of the problems continues. One problem is solved. The second problem comes because of your ignorance. Because the mind is not evolving consciously. You are responsible for problem. You are responsible for your sorrow. You are responsible for your happiness. I normally do not hate. Just take an example. I hate brandy, so the moment I see the face, oh no, this is an example. Just brandy, don't take it other. So every time I see brandy or I think of brandy and I create an image of brandy in my mind, what is happening to my mind? Just think of it. Anxiety, reaction, blame, complaint. Now my yoga says, get rid of it. Why? Peace is your essential nature. Why you hate? Because she is not attached to you. For example, this is just an example. Huh? I have seen the honey of Brittany, so I don't dare to say anything to Brittany. That's how I give an example of Brittany. So, but I know he will accept. He will not mind. So you see that? Do you see that? That is how the mind should accelerate its evolution by understanding these principles. And when you compress that evolution, what a life. One guy came to me long back in India when I used to teach. So he used to say, what a life without a wife. And after a few years, what a life with a wife. It is to me. What a life when the mind goes within and discovers the real self. Then you live with anyone, you live with no one, you live in that peace and happiness. That is the message of the Upanishads. Are you clear? Huh? So there are three things. Evolved. I have to take care. Hatha Yoga takes the best care at this, what is evolved. No doubt, we should accept this. But it does not mean that I should get obsessed with 108 postures. I can do it. That obsession will cause the mind to constantly sit in the body, and the mind will be crazy for pain and the pleasure. That is what Patanjali says in the sutra of about the asana, that we will understand later. Now, what is evolving? That what mind is evolving. Now, one thing we need to understand clearly. Where I was talking. Yeah, I was talking today in the morning. Yes. Matter evolves life because the life is involved into the matter. If the life is not present in the matter, then there cannot be life came out of the matter. What the science says, this matter, huh? This matter underwent permutation and combination. It created a complex molecule or atom. What is that? It is known as protoplasm. And one unit of protoplasm is cell, and the cell has a life. It means the life involved. Life was already present, hidden in the matter. It evolved. Matter evolved in evolved as a life. So first is matter, material kingdom. Now add matter plus life is the plant kingdom. Now the mind was involved in the life. The mind was already present, hidden in the life. That is why we see some highly evolved plants, they respond to sensation. So you have the primitive plant and you have the advanced plant kingdom. And when it reaches to the saturation point, animal mind was evolved. So what it means, animal kingdom? Matter plus life plus animal mind, specifically. That is what the animal kingdom is. You see, the evolution is going on. You don't have control over the evolution. I do not have control over the evolution. Right? Now, what about the human being? Matter plus life plus animal mind plus self consciousness. That becomes the human being. Why self consciousness? If you have a pet, put them in front of the mirror, they start fighting with their image. Do we do that? One example. I can give you hundreds of examples. But if you are in stress and anxiety and you are fighting with yourself, are you a human being? I'm just saying. No, we all are human beings. I see it. But I'm asking your mind. So it means what? Always be in happiness and keep smiling. The message of my master. Why? Self-conscious being. Right? So until you recognize that you are a self-conscious being, yoga is not possible. That is why we say yoga is not possible with animal beings. I have to become aware as a self-conscious being. Right? That is why these masters have written more than 3,000 texts and they guide you with the different principles and practices. Come on, my friend, you are a human being. You are not a four-legged animal. Don't get carried away by the animal consciousness. Animal consciousness, what is that? Seeking pleasure, sexual pleasure, safety, and sleep, and we have four animal instincts. I can recognize these instincts and I can give a direction to these instincts. They become the social instinct in my day to day life. Do I live into that? If I don't live into that, my mind is not accelerating in the process of evolution. Clear? Huh? Clear? Brittany, tell your honey to send me a big check because he is listening also to the sessions. He's not listening? Okay, no problem. I don't hear you. No, it's just a joke. Just- I see that your eyes is pointing to. Sometime you move your head there. I'm not there because I'm here. So that's why. So, Brandy, can you move your laptop a little bit? I only see your two eyes. Yes. So yes. So we have come to that. What we have come. Can I repeat? Now see the beautiful mathematical equation. What is that? Non-living beings is equal to only existence. Plant kingdom, they have existence plus life. Clear? Now, animal kingdom, they have existence plus life plus animal mind. Clear? Now go to the human being is equal to existence. I have a name, I have a form, I have a body and yeah, body is there. That is existence. I have a life plus life. I do have animal mind. We cannot ignore it. Plus, I have a self consciousness. That is what is human being. What about the God then? What about the real self or the God? So they have everything. They have existence plus life plus animal mind plus self consciousness. What is missing? Plus ananda. Ananda means permanent state of happiness everywhere, in all conditions, in all times. That is known as, the word is known as Ananda. Ananda. Now, what is the meaning of Ananda? There is a prefix A. A means from all sides. Nanda means the joy. Sometime when the word is this, Ananda. This is the word. So A is a prefix, which means from all sides, and Nanda means the joy. It means the joy from all the sides, in all conditions, at every moment. This whole equation leads us to yet to be evolved. We have to evolve to the real self. The real self is of the nature of Sat, Chit, Ananda. Sat, Chit, Ananda. That means Sat. That is Sat, Chit, and Ananda. That is the meaning. So Upanishad uses this word for the real self. Even you can make the C capital. Sat, Chit, Ananda. So when I sing, when I was singing the verses, Name Dvesh Rago, Name Lobh Moho, Madho Neva Me Neva Matsarya Bhava, Na Dharmo, Na Chartho, Na Kamo, Na Moksha, Chidananda Rupa, Shivoham, Shivoham. When the mind declares, I am Satchidananda, I am the real self, all your miseries come to an end. All sufferings are gone now. You live, work, think, speak in that state. That is the message of yoga, and that is the message of the Upanishad. What message we convey of yoga? Oh, I want to develop bicep. Okay, let me. I will give you. No, continue to do it. If those people come, continue to do it. But trigger their mind. Tell them this is the message of yoga. You have to develop bicep. Go to those wrestlers. You have, what we say, diet and pills, and they are already available. Why we are missing not to continue the same level, even say, for example, of material learning, because I distorted the message of yoga. I'm guiding yoga based on the science. I'm not guiding yoga based on the principles of Eastern wisdom. It's already available. The right knowledge is available. It has a logic. It has a rational explanation. But why I don't do it? 200 hours of training is not enough. It is a continuous journey. It's a continuous journey. That is why I say I lived with my master for 26 years, and still, if you ask me, did I understand everything? No, I don't understand. But that is the way. Huh? That is the way you keep your mind under check in that state of the humility, and you pick up one text, just 1 hour, you learn every day, then you sleep with it, you contemplate and reflect, and your life continues to change and continue to evolve. Did you understand that? Great Master Swami Vivekananda, who visited first time any yoga master visited United States in 1892 and 93 in the World Parliament of Religions, Chicago. He stayed there for about 3 years. He taught these principles of yoga, what I'm talking now to you. We have forgotten that. What you do, you have to Google 4 classics by Swami Vivekananda. 4 classics. They are known as Raja Yoga, Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Jnana Yoga. They are freely available as a PDF books to download. I plead, never leave these 4 books. You read it first time, at least you read minimum 10 times in 1 year. You will not understand while listening to first time. Understand that. Don't read it like Swami Vivekananda. 4 classics. So moment you see that 4 classics, they are Raja Yoga. I'm just giving you the idea that you will understand the very essence of yoga. Karma Yoga, or you simply say Raj Yoga by Swami Vivekananda, so you have a free books to download. It is easily available. And Bhakti Yoga. You don't understand, no worries. You study it again. And now we are associated. If you do not understand, simply send the email to me that this is what I was studying. Copy that and send an email. It will help your mind to evolve. That is one aspect. That is why I referred the name of Swami Vivekananda. He was not the best-selling author.
Girish, what does Swami mean?
Swami means monk.
Oh.
That is the literal meaning. But the real meaning that you are the master of your sense organs. You see, there are multiple meanings. In yoga, you are a master of your sense organs. What it means? What it means? Take one example. I see you. through my eyes as a sense organ. Mind says, you are beautiful. You all are beautiful, by the way. So I say to my mind, yes, let me appreciate the beauty of every human being. And I ask my sense organs to live within. And if they don't live within, then what happens? I have a like and dislike. I have an attachment and detachment. So Swami means the master of your own senses. Master of your senses. So don't, these are only, couple of hours of teaching of the Upanishads. That's why I'm not speaking too much, because every Sanskrit word has multiple meaning. And why the multiple meanings? So that you live at a different mental state. So I explain you differently. That is why we have to continue to study. But what is most striking that I wanted to tell you about Swami Vivekananda, perhaps in Raj Yoga, if I remember, he says yoga is a process of compressing one's evolution in 1 year or few months or few hours of earthly existence. That is how he defined yoga. Means what? You are the highest level of a seeker just by listening to the teacher. What the teacher teaches? The principles of Eastern wisdom. Just by listening, you are awakened in few hours. If you are a middle level of a seeker, then it takes few months. And if you are lower level of a seeker, it may take years and years to compress your evolution. So I explained by 3 words. This definition of Swami Vivek, these great masters, they write in a cryptic language. But we have to open it up. This is what he meant. Evolve, evolving, to be evolved. Very good. Antoinette, you started reflecting and contemplating. This is the real journey of yoga. Good. Now we have studied Sat Chit Ananda. Huh? Sat means literal meaning truth. Now go to the another meaning. It means existence. Your pet has come to listen to me, Brandy. Very good. Ah, yes.
She likes this. She likes, yeah.
Okay, very good.
And she has to see. She might have a little bit more than just an animal mind. She's a
very
cat, so she might have some subconsciousness. I don't know.
I like it. I like it. So she has 4-legged, but still, in deeper inside with 2 legs. Now come to the existence. I give you another understanding. Pay attention to it. It has to be understood again and again. What do you mean by exist? What do you mean by that I exist? Physics says existence, which has a shape, which has a name, which has a form. I say Brittany exists because I see her body. I have her name. See that? So anything which occupies space and has a name from the physics, and then I will come back to Eastern wisdom, exist. Yeah? I exist. So when I say I exist, I am referring myself to the body, to the breath, to the mind, to the intellect, to the ego. Right? Got it? Mind is empty. Now, we exist. My house exists, your house exists. You exist and I exist. My reference point is existence, the matter, right? Right? But now think how the wave exists because of water. Water, if the water does not have, if water is not there, the wave cannot exist. Did you understand that? Huh? Did you understand? If the wave is not there, if the wave is there, it means it is because of water. And the water is existence. Because of that, wave exists, foam exists, flood exists, storm exists, cloud exists. You got it? Right? Right? You see the understanding. By which I exist is existence. That is real self. I exist, right? Wave exists due to water. I exist. So where is the existence? I exist. What wave exists? My house exists because of the space. Right? Are you getting it? I'm comparison. First understanding. Wave exists because of water. Right? Now I know that I also exist, referencing my body, mind, breath, intellect, thoughts, ego. Right? Now find out what is the existence by which I exist. You got it? It needs a clarity of the mind to study Upanishad, to study yoga. Now 200 hours is good, but I'm just pointing you out. Do you understand? Do you have that question? Wave exists due to water. My house, your house exists because of the space. But what is that by which I exist? You got it? So Upanishad Yoga answers, it is the existence. Right? Right? So Upanishads explains differently, in a different ways, to different level of seekers to make you understand. So simply I say existence, that is also real self. So when we are a seeker, we have understood the basics. That existence simply means existence, consciousness, and bliss. When I say pure consciousness, it means existence, consciousness, and bliss. When I say only bliss, that also means existence, consciousness, and bliss. So sometime, because of teaching at a particular time to a particular students, we simply talk about permanent happiness. That simply means the real self. And that real self means all the three words. Whether I say consciousness, that means three words. Whether I say existence, that means three words. How come? Now, we should ask how come. There are three words. So first is, we have understood existence. Now, when I say I know I exist, what is this I know? This I know is consciousness. Knowledge cannot take place without self-consciousness. Do you see that? I know I exist. But where is this I know is present? It is present in the existence. It is one with the existence. But for the sake of understanding in our mind and intellect, we say, come on, it is Satchidanand. It is existence, consciousness, and bliss. Huh? I have to yet to understand, I have to yet to know how to speak the last name of Brandy. But even if I say Brandy, it makes people understand to whom I'm referring. Same way, existence means existence, consciousness, and bliss. Yeah. When I say Chit, It also means existence, consciousness, and bliss. When I simply say bliss or ananda, it also means existence, consciousness, and bliss. Thank you. It's a so or sco.
Shoe.
Shoe.
Macher. Schumacher.
Schumacher. Very good. Thank you, Schumacher. So it is Brandy Schumacher, existence, consciousness, and bliss. You got it? Now pay attention. When I say I know I exist, that I know, it means existence contains the consciousness. Now the magic happens. That is the teaching of yoga and the Upanishad. What does that mean? Magic happens. Is water one or many in the waves, foam, storm? Ask yourself. Water is one. Water in the ocean or in your tap, even if you have to pay that. Water in a glass of water is only one or two. It is only one. Anyway, water here in India is one. Existence is one. There is not two. Consciousness is one. It is not two consciousness. Means what? I am alone, all pervading. I am present everywhere. As in existence, not what I exist. So when I am everywhere, what happens to me, to the mind? Mind goes into the permanent peace and happiness. There is no two. There is no division. There is no duality. Recognition, realization, understanding, living into that state is the journey of yoga, is the journey of the Upanishad. That is why I simply say self-discovery. Patanjali says in the third sutra, what he says, tada drashtu swarupe avasthanam. When you empty the mind of its contents, the crazy contents that divides you from people to people, that divides you by hate and love, drop all the content of the mind. When the mind is empty, then what happens? Patanjali says, first chapter, third sutra, tada drashtu swarupe avasthanam. What happens? Then this mind settles in my real self. I am settled in my real self. What is that real self? Satchidananda. So sometimes the master does not explain because it is in the format of a sutra. But they all have come from the Eastern wisdom. They follow the same principle. So it means that real self, tada drashtu swarupe avasthanam. So the modern authors give a wrong translation. They do not try to understand through the commentators, our great masters and their teachings. They say, I am very, very intelligent than Patanjali. I know how to translate. That will not work. With due respect to all the modern great masters, it's not my translation. It's coming from the teachings of the Eastern wisdom. I'm not teaching. I don't know anything. So that is why. So coming back. So did you understand the very beautiful concept? Sat, Chit, Ananda. Whether you say Sat, it means all the other two. Whether you say Chit, it means the other two. Whether you say Ananda, it means the other two. It is only one. For the sake of understanding, we say absolute existence, consciousness, bliss. So now see that you are real self, Satchidananda. I am real self. Everyone is real self. Will the mind go enter into any kind of a conflict? But the mind is already full of conflict. Patanjali says, first empty the mind before you understand. then practice it before you will experience. Did you understand that? So now the same Satchidanand, there is another word used in the Upanishad. Huh? What is that word? That word is known as Brahma. Sometimes it is written as Brahman. Huh? Brahman. Brahma. So we sometimes we say Brahma and sometimes you can say Brahman in English. It works the same way. Another principle, Brahm. What is the literal meaning of Brahm? Now, some people will take will give you the meaning of this Brahman. There is a caste system in India that we will understand later. There is nothing like caste system. So Brahman. You can say, fortunately, I belong to the highest caste, Brahman. But that has nothing to do with the topic here. So the literal meaning of the Brahman is expansion, unlimited, all pervading, omniscient. So what is that? It is absolute consciousness, existence, consciousness, and bliss. It is pure consciousness. Anandam Vai Brahma. In one of the Upanishad, it says Anandam Vai Brahma. There are different ways. Anandam Vai Brahma. So you see that I told you it is one word. Anandam Vai Brahma. Anandam, I have to recheck and understand where it is. Anandam Vai Brahma. Perhaps it is, if I'm not mistaken, it comes from which Upanishad? It comes from Kathopanishad, or perhaps, but I'm not sure. I'll make it clear. Anandam Vai Brahma. So he is using, this master is using only. So you see the Brahman, whether you say Brahma, Brahman, never be misguided that Brahman is the name of a god. Brahman is the name of Satchidananda. It is the name of the real self. So when we say Brahma is the ultimate reality, so that expression comes, I am including the entire universe. Clear? But when I exclude the entire universe, I want to talk about the real self only. Then the Upanishad uses the word Atman. Never confuse that with uh, the soul. You see that? People make a mistake. Atman. Let me write down. Atman or Atma. You see? A little misunderstanding. Atman is soul. Gone. You are finished. It has nothing to do with the soul. Anyhow, we have three souls in our body. Can you point out? That is how I sometimes explain when the people are confused. Don't look into any book. I'll tell you where are the three souls. So one soul we talk about lays deep inside the heart, and we have two souls of the 2 feet. So don't misunderstand. Don't create a misunderstanding. So people tell me you are crazy. I said, yes, I'm more crazy than you think. You don't understand the meaning of the soul and their soul. Upanishad says, yoga says, understand it clearly. So when you say Atman, no, I have seen the dictionary. It means the soul. It means the spirit. There are two kinds of spirit also. You already know. one you find in the liquor store and one you find deeper inside. So we are not talking of those things. Atman. Atman means that is only you and only you. That cannot be destroyed. That cannot be changed. That is the meaning of Atman. And what is that you? That you is the real self. And what is that real self? That real self is Satchidananda. Finished. Sometimes people give me their variety of experiences. My soul went to a different country. So I said, let it go. Why you have to worry? So don't, meditation is nothing to do with the hallucinations. You see that? That is, everything is clearly explained in the Upanishad. So you understood? When I refer Atman, I am referring Atman as an individual level. When I say the same Atman at the universal level, it is Brahma. But both are Satchidananda. Both are nothing but the real self. Did you get it? Did you understand that part? It's very important. There are four big, very big, very big statements in the Upanishad. The first statement comes from, now I got it, now I remember. So first statement comes from about Atraya Upanishad. It says consciousness is Brahman, means that consciousness is the real self. Now see the difference when we talk about the soul and the spirit. I gave you that we have two spirits and we have three souls. But the consciousness is Brahman. That pure consciousness is Satchidananda. So that consciousness is Brahman, that is English. And how it is written? Prajnanam Brahma. Beautiful. First the master says, and did you understand this? No. Why you did not understand? So in one Upanishad, in Atraya Upanishad, the master starts teaching, guiding, giving you the practice. So you do all those practices, you go back, and ultimately you reach to a state of awakening. Where is this? Where? Then in another Upanishad, Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, that Upanishad says, I am. I already explained you. I am Brahman. Aham Brahmasmi. Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. I explained you. Who am I? Satchidanand. Where is that Satchidanand? Real self. So when I say real self with reference to the entire universe, it is Brahman. When I say it with individual self, it is Atman. It is my real self. But both are real self. Both is Satchidanand. Both are beyond the gender, age, sex, nationality, citizenship, cult, religion, dogma, belief. So again, this in Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, step-by-step process. It takes a couple of years to go deep into it, and ultimately we reach to that state. Don't start saying, I am real self, honey, I'm real self. Do whatever you want to do. That will cause more problem. First live into that. Don't do that stuff, it happened to me with a lot of students, So one day I told my student that you are a monk because now you are free from the ego sense and you are free from the desire seeking the fruits of an action. So he attends my Monday and Thursday session and Saturday's session from India. Kate. I don't want to name that. Long back. So he went to his honey and he said, now I am a monk. Should I tell you? So now his mind was seeking pleasure. So his honey said, hell with you. Keep a distance with me. And then they started fighting. And then his wife was also a student of mine. Sir, what you have taught to this guy? And then I realized what happened to me. So that is why I told you it's a royal secret, but still it is an open secret. Unless you become a seeker, you cannot understand. You will fall into problem. So don't start repeating this unless you have a clear understanding. Oh, yes. Then we come to the Tattvamasi. It comes from Tattvamasi. It comes from the third Chandogya Upanishad. Tattvamasi means you are Brahmin. You see that teaching pertains to the teacher says, helps you to recognize you are real self. Come on. Now you have understood, you have practiced. So that journey in the Chandogya Upanishad also takes couple of months and years to study. When we study daily, and then we understand. So this is one of the third great statement. And then the fourth one comes from Mandukya Upanishad. Yes, it is coming from the Mandukya Upanishad. I am Atma Brahma. I am Atma Brahma. Means what? I experience the real self. Now go outside. Look at the world. Oh, I only see the real self, none else. So what is the declaration of this Upanishad? I am Atma Brahma. My real self is nothing but it is the same real self pervading. It is the way of expressing the thing. Sometimes you add the beauty in the phrase. I am Atma Brahma. Atman and Brahman are same. But you have to express it. That is the beauty of these Upanishads. You see that simply by saying action and reaction equal and opposite is Newton's third law of motion does not make any sense unless I go deep into it and I understand. I do an experiment. There is a protocol. There are variables which can be changed. There are variables which cannot be changed. And I do an experiment. Ultimately, I come to the conclusion, yes, Newton is right. Action and reaction are equal and opposite, isn't it? Same way, the masters of the Upanishad made a statement, I am Atma Brahma. So we have to work on it. The protocol means that I have to understand sub-principles. I have to work on my life. I have to work on my mind, on my body. I have to do a lot of practices to prove that, yes, it is. Simply by saying, now I am the real self. I am unaffected by any insult and praise. You simply make a statement and your honey says you are crazy. Then what will happen to you? Because you have no realization inside. Are you understanding that? So understand it for the sake of understanding the Upanishad, but don't make a statement. Yeah, honey is not in a good mood and you say, I am the real self full of peace and happiness. Honey says, hell with you. You live in your peace and happiness. I'm leaving you. And then see what happens to you. Normally, I have seen in Google also that people make such statement. They say, yes, you learn it and done. Come on, you learn it and done. You have to become a seeker. You have to purify the mind. You have to do the practice. And then you declare, your mind declares, yes, I know I am there. I am in that state. Declare it. Yes, let me pick a couple of words also. There is another word in Mandukya Upanishad. The word is known as Turiya. Turiya. So it becomes easy for you to understand Turiya. So Turiya simply means fourth state of consciousness. Mandukya Upanishad, Turiya. So when you live into the state of consciousness, which is known as Turiya, you are already awakened. You have realized the real self. We are going slowly, step by step to understand that. But anyhow, just take it granted that you are awakened. Why? Because you are living in Turiya. So how to understand that? So we understand the three states of the mind. Waking state of the mind, dream state of the mind, sleeping state of the mind. And fourth is not the state of the mind, it is the state of consciousness. It is the natural state of the consciousness. Waking state. Body, sense organs, motor organs, mind, memory, intellect, ego, all are working in the waking state. Dream state. One body is keep lying down on the bed. The mind creates another body that is chasing the tiger, or the tiger is chasing that body. Do you see that? Huh? You keep lying. Body does not change its position. It means through fancies and imagination, that mind creates another body. It means that imagination also has a mind, memory, in ego, intellect. You see how clarity of understanding is there. Teachings of these Eastern wisdom. Knowledge of the truth will remain true, whether it has come from 5,000-6,000 years ago or whether it is discovered here. The absolute truth, the knowledge of absolute truth never changes. What Upanishad is saying? Check, inquire, practice, learn, educate, and experience. What do you experience? The absolute truth. What is absolute truth? It is real self. Whether it was discovered 6,000 years ago, whether it was discovered by a monk in India or a monk in US, it doesn't matter. Upanishad clearly says, throw the books once you experience that state. Can you make such a big statement? Look at our religion, cult, and dogma and belief. They stick to it. If they do not stick to it, they are gone. My masters used to say, have you understood Gita? Yes. Throw that book, burn that book. That real self is beyond the concept and all the principles. Once you know it, you can explain it. Can you see that beauty, that adventure, that courage by these masters? And that comes from the Upanishads. Why I speak with the confidence? Not because I claim I know it. I have that confidence because I understand what these masters are saying. Turiya. Coming to the third is known as sleeping. In the sleep state, the body is not there, the mind is not there. So mind means ego is also not there. Mind means the memory is not there. Mind means the intellect is not there. Clear? In deep sleep, we don't recognize that. Right? Now see the analysis. And then I'll have a couple of questions. Analysis, understanding of these masters. Do I experience stress, suffering, pleasure in a waking state? Yes. Do I experience the same pleasure, pain in the dreaming state? Yes. Do I experience any pain and suffering in the sleeping state? No. In deep sleep, I don't experience that. But I always experience the deep sleep is a refreshing, it is peaceful, it gives me happiness. Clear? What is the conclusion? If I bypass the body and the mind, if I transcend the body and the mind, I can enter into that state consciously, which is known as Turiya. What Patanjali is saying, I can discover my real self. Are you getting it? Did you get it? What a journey. When I speak, I get into that immense peace and happiness. I'm a selfish guy. Because of my own peace and happiness, I'm speaking. I'm just expressing for the sake of peace and happiness. You are learning or not learning. You are learning or not learning. That depends on your mind. How can I force you to learn? Just do, think, speak, and act like this. And then see, you will never enter into any kind of stress and suffering. Do you see that? So that is why I sometimes say that I'm extremely selfish. I express for my own sake. Oh, when you give meditation session, are you? Yes. I live into that meditative state while giving you the practice of meditation. I'm extremely selfish. If I am not in meditation, I will not give you. I will not talk. I need not to. Do you see that? That is the Turiya state the master is talking about. So, Turiya state of consciousness is beyond sleep, dream, and waking state. What is that? In which the knowledge of the real self reveals in meditation and awakening takes place. What is that awakening? Now that is Satchidananda, existence, consciousness, bliss. Who is among you feeling bored? Maybe out of shyness you will say, I'm not feeling bored. Now, I'm giving some element of traditional teaching, the way I learned from my master. Why you feel bored? Because mind is obsessed with something outside, seeking pleasure. It wants to have it. Enough, you beard guy. Now I'm feeling hungry. You see that? So, master says you have to purify the mind. You are learning something that is most important in our life. You are accelerating your process of evolution. Even if you do not eat for a week, let it be so. I have to learn this. Do you have that intensity in your mind? That is what the intense seeking is. Honey calls you. You said, I found my real honey. Hold on. Do you have that level of awareness? That makes you a good seeker. Are you getting it? If you have any question, let me have a couple of questions, and then we will go through those two texts. First session in the next Saturday. The first act, How to Succeed in Mindfulness. If you have that book, it will help you. Even if you don't have it, it will definitely help you. It has nothing to worry about. Tell me if you have any question, Brittany. No question. Very good. I'm happy. Sometimes I'm scared of the questions, Brandy, do you have any questions?
I don't have any questions.
Antoinette, do you have any questions?
I'm just going to look over my notes.
Yeah, look over notes, yes. And listen to this audio of the crazy. Yes. And Brittany? No. Kate, you have no. And Christina?
Just really quick. So we were just what we were just talking about last of the fourth state of consciousness. When you said there's a word that when you could get to the Turiya, I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing it.
Yeah, you're right.
When you said a word that is when you get to that of overcoming or something, the waking state, dreaming state, sleep state. There is something that you said that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm a little I don't know if I'm.
Yeah, there is a strong wind. You are sitting near the beach, and there is a turbulence in the water. That is your waking state. Then go little deeper. You see the impact of that turmoil, the trigger in the water, but it is not affecting your dream state. Then go little deeper. Little deeper, where is no effect of the wind and the storm is there in an ocean. Sleep state. Then go little deeper, and while going deeper, you find everything is water. That is Turiya. Why I'm upset? Everything is water. What is that water? It is the real self. It is the Satchidanand. It is Turiya. You name it anything. So, means what? So here the masters use the word, you go behind and beyond dream state, sleeping state, waking state. It does not mean that you don't know it, but now these three states cannot create any problem to you. You have realized the ultimate. Turiya. Turiya. What is that Turiya? It is your real nature. It is my real nature. It is one real self. It is one pure consciousness pulsating everywhere. That is the teaching of our great masters. Thank you for tolerating me for so long. Thank you very much. Same way, keep tolerating everyone, even who?
We're going to see you again next week, same back
Next week, same time.
for more of the Upanishads.
Yeah, more of the Upanishads.
Beyond the dream and waking state.
Yes, and tomorrow, definitely, Brittany, we are meeting tomorrow also early in the morning.
Yes, tomorrow.
Brittany reminded that.